Sienta here had a really fantastic question. You mentioned again of the Asura Gate in Ebonhawk. It reminded me of a random bit of dangling lore from the original game. If you remember, at the end of the Ruins of Sirmia mission, Rurik activates a portal that takes the party to Nalali Academy, somewhere else in Ascalon. Do you know if the devs ever explained that seemingly now lost human teleporting magic at all? Because, yeah, that would be really important and cool for the Char to utilize, no? I don't remember any official statements, but the Nalani Academy itself, you can visit in Diessa Plateau. It's right near the entrance to the Black Citadel, and it's just kind of a scrap heap now. So I would guess, especially with the Char not particularly favoring magic, the place would have been roused and destroyed. In fact, even in Guild Wars 1, as you use the portal, the Char are busting in behind you, so maybe they just blew the place up. Great question, though. Sort of ancient history these days.
Never forget the Brand disaster. First, a giant roaring filled the western sky. Then, night turned to day, and whole war bands became mindless mutants.
Don't worry. If you're ever turned like that, I'd have no trouble doing what needs doing.
I do the same for you. Once the Brand has you, there's no going back.
Alright, we're back! Welcome, guys. We are currently back at the Pockmark Flats, or the Pockmark Roughs, as they're now known, 250 years later. I don't know why, but this is such an iconic Guild Wars 1E feeding area to me. I'm kind of really happy we get to start a video looking over it. We're here because, in the story, it is our task to locate a missing chieftain leader of Agrak Crawl here, which you can see is just across the rough. So let's get moving. As we come down, you're actually going to find the Gruul freaking love this place now. There's a hero challenge we can even do over at the Crystal. Little moments like that. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with hero challenges in terms of the ones where you just channel the areas because they feel a little bit boring a lot of the time. But I have to admit, it is cool that in Guild Wars 2, you can go to big, interesting things like this and, like, do stuff just because there's a hero challenge there or whatever, or a point of interest. While in Guild Wars 1, that was never really the case. It was just to be marveled at, and most players would never have really noticed or paid enough attention kind of thing. So anyway, we move in, and as you notice, when we got close to the crystal...
That's the stuff.
Run. Good. Gives me time to study this thing.
That's amazing. Killing these Gruul, we helped a Char out, an explorer from the Dermond Priory. That's kind of hilarious. Kindle Fire. Let's see what she has to say. The event was something to do with the Star God as well. Let's see.
The past should inspire the future.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Yeah, so if you actually look, the name of the POI is Tale of the Star Gods. So the Gruul, obviously very primitive. The one lesser race we haven't seen what they're like and what they're really all about. But they find just things in the environment and then basically form little tribes that worship them, like the ones that worship the Balthazar statue.
Defilers! Defilers! Go! This is our place!
Perfect. They're back, and they brought shamans.
Die now! Feel the power of our god!
Okay, so they're pretty...
Kill the shaman! Why does it take a scientist to figure
Repression.
that out?
Okay, all right.
Shamans stop someone.
Jesus, she was so quick to shout at us. All right, lady, we'll be fine. Here, this is really good. We got to 100 blades and fear these earth elementals that the Gruul summoned, but they couldn't move because they were right up against the walls, so we got to do all of our damage. Wow, okay, so yeah, we'll take these shamans out, and obviously they're not happy with us being here. This is a complete detour. This is not what this video intro was supposed to be about whatsoever. We were supposed to just get the challenge and move on. We've honestly got so much territory I want to cover today. All right. Well, so, yeah, we'll knock this guy out. See what else we got to do. I was RP walking that entire time for some reason. That's my bad. I didn't really mean to. Between videos, I kind of cleared our inventory out a little bit more, but honestly, we have so many boosters and important gear and stuff that we've accrued over the past however many videos. I'll have to sit down and do a proper cleanup pretty soon. Here we go, last one. Let's cast on my mark on him. Frenzy, Eviscerate. Oh, that was so good. So much damage.
Even after all these centuries, that shard is death. Sheer, pure, shiny death. I admire that. and it made our expedition so much better than I thought it would be. Thank you for your assistance. Now it's back to my research. So much newness to claw through.
All right, okay, yeah, have fun. It's nice seeing Char being, like, intellectual. Here we go. All right, let's just channel with this. 2.5 centuries have failed to dull these crystalline shards called down by desperate Char during the cataclysmic searing. Commune with this place of power. So there you go. And we can grab this. Now, what were some of the topics I wanted to talk about as we go on our little adventure? First of all, I mean, I'm shocked. You guys are eagle-eyed. So many of you noticed and commented on it. Yes, the peg leg. It was an accident. Last episode, we didn't have the peg leg on, but it was just a total accident as I was trying to put the vigil armor on. I didn't think. So I immediately saw that. It is my plan to keep the peg leg. Tyrix has lost his foot for good, guys. Trust me. We're going to stick with it. It wasn't my intention to just have his foot to regrow last episode. And that really is astounding to me that so many people paid so much attention to his feet. You guys clearly care and think a lot more about how characters look visually than I often do. But anyway, so that's one thing.
It is done. We failed.
Those guys failed in another event we don't really have to worry about. And another thing as well, speaking of Guild Wars 1 location, Steel Eye Span, fantastic place. A lot of you guys remarked, and you were right too. One of the big things about Steel Eye Span is it's actually built on the ruins of an old human fort called Fort Rannick, which there's no evidence of anymore in Guild Wars 2, but Fort Rannick was exactly there. And I wonder whether the devs are suggesting that Fort Rannick was built in a defensible location, and so it was natural that then Steel Eye Span was replaced with it. It's a bit like how the human capital of Rin was destroyed, and then the Black Citadel put on top of it, the Char capital. It's kind of, you know, maybe a similar situation there, but hey, who knows? All right, okay, we've made it to the Untamed Wilds. Let's head on in. That's beautiful. I love the image of the Great Northern Wall there. Ogre society is constructed about their pets. The ogres view their pets as their life partners, and the more impressive a pet is, the more respect its tamer will get from the rest of the tribe. Their approach to taming is typically to dominate the pet, to ensure that it knows who is in charge. Although proper taming can take months or even years, in a pinch, it is possible to simply overpower the beast. Once an animal has been tamed, it is often used in combat or as a beast of burden. Their relationship with nature has been compared to that of the Norn with the spirits of the wild, but a lot less reverent and a lot more work-oriented. The ogres are pragmatic, if nothing else. Despite this, the ogres are deeply affectionate toward their animal companions, and an animal, once tamed, can be sure that it will have its needs met for the rest of its life. Okay, and of course, we do have the big ticket item here, and that's the brand. Ooh, how do we talk about this? Well, we'll just...
We better move fast. This place reeks of death.
Maybe Forgel says it best. Maybe we'll just move as quickly as we can. He says, I don't like this. It reminds me too much of the places Jormag has ruined, only with corrupted crystal instead of ice. Let's find the search party, get out of here, and finish the mission. No argument here. So yeah, we're just going to go wading on in and try to keep ourselves safe. Now, if you look very carefully, you might find some big dragon movement throughout this instance. I might not be able to notice it every time it happens. So yeah, keep your eyes out, guys. Now, it looks like the story wants us to come down here a little bit. And, well, what have we got? Some branded humans, first of all.
Explore.
At this place, the Foulblane Expanse. Oh, and we've got some branded Devourers. Now, regular Devourers are really hard-hitting in Guild Wars. It's kind of funny. They were in Guild Wars 1 as well. These branded Devourers, funny story. You might not really get a feel for it because we're such a badass, but branded Devourers are some of the heaviest hitting things in Guild Wars 2, and I really, really mean that. They do a lot of damage, and because they can just kind of plant down and just attack without having to move because they're ranged, you'd be surprised how fast they can press you. Here we get some branded humans. Humans, perhaps, of Ebonhawk. I mean, what kind of humans would have been around here 5 years ago? Definitely people who still cling on to Ascalon, right? So, they have double the reason to dislike us as Char. Number one, they're dragon minions. Number two, they're probably Char haters in the first place. Not that they seem to retain that consciousness. Let's be real. Let's go kill this guy as well. I'm trying to clear everything out nice and precisely in case any of the NPCs get distracted and go on fights and I don't realize and then we have to come all the way back. So, what is this? Oh yeah, ogres, huh. Well, there's a dead ogre body here. Is this the leader? The ogre's corpse is badly mangled. There are signs of battle, which confuse the trail, but tracks continue deeper into the brand. Okay. Well, we get a Minotaur here who is charging, and I'm going to dodge away. His flavor text there says he throws foes. So there are varieties of creatures in the brand you don't that with mechanics you don't really find in many other places in the game. And particularly if we end up dealing with the beast to the north, you'll see a lot of that because they remade the whole thing quite recently, as I mentioned yesterday. Let's knock these guys out. Let Fogel run in there and take as much aggro as possible. I'm going to try and not rampage until we really desperately need it.
That feels good.
Swing through. I've also got something else on my mind that we could get a new specialization and deal with those a bit more. But I don't know. We've done a lot of that in recent videos, so I'm just kind of chilling out with what's already very strong. Like, look at our damage right now that we're getting hit with. Oh, this is a branded human, to be fair. Jesus, we're getting hit hard. No, it's Devourers. It's these Devourers here, as you can see. They are honestly so gross, guys. I'm going to blow a lot of utilities just to make sure these guys die. Okay, woo, good. Thank you, Fogel, for the cover there. This ogre's corpse is badly mangled. There are signs of battle. Confuse the trail. Okay. So we're going to just keep following the bodies. We got a char here, a branded char. I always find it interesting how each dragon corrupts the races. Like how their design changes once they are corrupted. Now the coolest one, as we talked about, is Icebrood Norn. They're so freaking cool. I like the idea that there's some version of corruption that makes Char look ridiculously monstrous too, you know. Anyway, so we'll take them out. I also like how in the instance it feels like we're getting into more and more dangerous creatures as we go. Devourers and humans and now Char. Another body. Moving on, we're going to find another body here. Keep wading through the brand. Another body. And they're continuing to give us the same text each time. Are any of these people alive? No, not this one.
Found him. But it looks like we're not the only ones.
Wait, where? Where did you find him, Fogel? Where? I don't see it. Oh, okay, there we go. So we have Jonker, who's down. Now remember, guys, when you see someone in-game that's on the floor like this, whether that's a player or an NPC, it doesn't mean dead in Guild Wars 2. I've explained this before, but the devs were very precise about that. Being defeated is not being dead. That's why everyone can, like, revive one another. So yeah, Jonker's down, but he's not out, and we can go and help him out. And that helps the devs avoid, like, weird issues that might be caused with they want to kill a character in the story and then people are like, why can't I just press F on him? It's because they're different things. All right, Jonker, up you get. This is why we can revive, theoretically, Jonkor, but not all of his friends. Jonkor's a bit stronger than them, I guess. Hello?
Never mind. We've got to get out of here. I can still fight, but it's not safe. The chief turned on us. Help me get back and warn the crawl.
Oh, you're not the chief. Ah, so here, by the way, he opened his dialogue by saying, never mind. Let's look at our normal chat here. He says, yeah, he opens his dialogue by saying, never mind. So did we miss a bit of dialogue there? Or is there something we're not quite getting the full picture just yet? Hello, he says, there is no time. We have to get back to warn the crawl. So the revelation here being that we didn't find Uldek. We found this Jonkor guy who was the search party, and his chief has become branded and will attack the crawl. Okay, all right. It was never going to be that simple just leaving, was it? Yep, as you try to exit, you do find a branded siege devourer. So you take a devourer, you get the char with it, or I suppose ogres could do this too. They're very pet affiliated. You breed it to be enormous and, you know, train it in the art of siege and whatnot. Then you take it into the brand and you lose. So Kraukatoric gets it, and this is the result. A branded devourer. Now, very tanky, very dangerous. If you try to range fight it, he will trigger this animation here, which is this massive rock he lobs around. Does tons of damage if he hits you with it. In fact, I'm really scared of even demonstrating it. It's a lot of damage. So you have to be very cautious about your dodges if you're going to play like that. Or you can just make sure to stay close to him in which case he'll quite chaotically try to run away, as you can see he is here, and he'll use different abilities altogether based on the range that you're fighting him at. So obviously as a warrior with an axe, a shield, and a greatsword, we're going to be much more happy pushing in like so. But yeah, it kind of depends on your builds. You might be able to like summon thing. If you're a ranger with a pet, the pet might be able to get it to attack it. Here you go, he's trying to siege again, but he won't be able to hit us. Do you see how the siege landed over there, even though we were never near it? The siege has a minimum range, which is why Melee's so safe and his AI won't ever want to do it. But yeah, you could use like minions as a necro or whatever else and hope that they target in melee while you range away from behind. But yeah, oh my god, that really didn't hit very hard there. It could be because the Devourer had weakness on him. Now that he's getting low, he's knocking us back into range. That was a beautiful dodge there. That was very cool, which I'm quite impressed with. I think we can probably fear this boss too, yeah, because it doesn't have a break bar. So we just charged it away, which is silly because now we're in range of the siege again. We can raise our shield though to try and deal with that.
That's the stuff.
Let's get back. And yeah, I really like this boss fight. This is one of the very few boss fights that feels like about the right length. I think all the... Oh no, he's wandered so... That fear moved him so far away. Now he's resetting his health. No, why? All right, now it's going to be too long. I was going to say, most of the boss fights in the game, I feel like go over way too quickly. This one's a good length, but not if you have to do it twice. Oh, be careful fearing him, I guess. I'll see you guys in a second.
On my mark.
Oh my god, come on. There we go. He knocked us back and we threw our axe at him to finish him off. That was actually kind of cool. Jesus, and down he goes. Good. Right, well, in the meantime, unfortunately, he managed to beat the crap out of Jonkor and Forgul, so let's res them and try to get out. Oh, we got a level from resing. Yeah, you do get experience from resing things, by the way. Another way that the game encourages people to be nice to each other. All right, what's this? The chief turned on you?
Thank you. Oldek has gone mad. He killed the others, killed our pets, and left me for dead. Why did Oldek attack his own people? He's been branded, turned into a crystal monster. He went out to tame such creatures, but became one instead. He lured us into a trap and set a pack of those crystal creatures on us. He's still our finest beastmaster. They obeyed him perfectly. Now he means to make branded of the entire kraal, and our pets. I have to get back and warn them. There are 2 ways you could help if you like. Our tamers need as many strong pets as they can find. Also, we need more supplies to build fortifications.
Ah, so there you go. You guys can see the jeopardy here.
Those creatures are certainly stubborn. Dedicated, I mean. I may not like them, but I can admire that.
Almost missed that Forgul was talking there. All right, so you guys see the jeopardy there now. As a master of taming things, I guess has become something of a leader within the brand now that their chief has become branded.
Really?
All right, so I like these ogres, says Forgul. They're tough, capable, and they don't take any guff. We'll need tribes like this when we confront the dragons. You know, I think it means quite a lot that Forgul actually likes these guys, because he's been nothing but grumpy and dismissive of most people. He wouldn't even openly admit to liking us. Another good reason to make sure they survive, dude. Okay, and I mean, oh, come on. No one's obviously gonna like creatures like this.
Here.
So he says, thanks. If you hadn't come along, the Kraul would have never known what happened to Oldek or the threat he's become. We have to get back and help them prepare. How? Well, we got to move fast. The Kraul needs more fighting pets. Our Beastmasters can tame just about anything, and we need lumber to strengthen our defenses. So what you'll see here is what I mentioned at the end of the last episode. Normally, at about this point in the story, for a lesser races arc, you get to choose, do you want to do this or this? And yet, on the Ogres, the dialogue seems to suggest we're going to get a choice to help them get pets or help them get lumber. And we can ask, where can I find beasts to tame in time? There's a pack of rock dogs nearby. They'd be perfect. Their alpha is named Sourfang, and he's a vicious, bad-tempered brute. If we tame him, the rest will follow. Sounds good. Where do I start? Speak with Beastmaster Najara. She's out tracking the rock dogs right now. Once you find her, tell her I sent you. Najara's smart. She won't turn down help at a time like this. And then we can say, what about the lumber? And you'll notice the format here is a lot like when you've got a choice coming up. The trees we need aren't far away, but there's a flock of harpies living in them. We'll need to clear them out so we can harvest the trees safely. I understand. How can I help? Well, talk to Builder Gorkin. He's heading up the logging detail. Tell him I sent you, and he'll be a lot less hostile. But that choice is not something you actually do at all this time. It's like they merge the two together, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, so we can ask him other stuff. He says, I'll answer your questions as best I can, but keep it brief. The branded are massing to attack as we speak. Okay, I'd like to know more about you, ogres, and your pets. Our lives are built around our pets, he says. They work for us, they fight for us, and they stand by us. They're partners for life. The more impressive pets an ogre has, the more respected that ogre is. I really like this. As someone in his free time who's been playing a little bit of Ark Survival Evolved recently, I kind of get the idea. But they start as wild beasts. How do you tame them? Dominance. We live hard lives, so we teach hard lessons. A tamer must show the beast who's in charge and make sure it understands what's expected of it. Do that and the bond forms quickly. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing because I'm no expert on the subject material, but in the real world, you can't just domesticate any creature of the wild. There are some things that are just too much of a wild card to bring into your homes, no matter how well you think you know it. I remember there was this horrible story about a guy who used to do vlogs with like a hippo, and then the hippo killed him one day, and he's just got all these VODs here, and they like stand as a testament to being careful of these kinds of things. That's the real world though, but in something like Tyria, you know, with magic, you can have a race that, through brute force, through whatever technique they find, everything is tameable, and I like that idea, you know? I have another question. I'll answer as best I can. What happened to Oldek? Exactly. We were very quick. We glossed over that, man. He says he tried to tame the branded who are massing to attack us, but they made him one of them. With Oldek leading the branded horde, Agrat Crawl is more dangerous than ever. So here, this time, we kind of hear the idea that the branded were going to attack anyway. The ogres went out to investigate, and then they lost a key leader to it. A little bit like what the Hylic were doing, I guess, but this wasn't a knowing, willing sacrifice, and it was just one event. I'd like to review the defense plan. Let's start with the taming, and then he can say all of that again. You'll notice here as well, by the way, all of that at the end was optional dialogue. Optional dialogue, despite the fact that you kind of need to know what he's saying to have any idea of what's actually coming up in the story. So just some strange stuff going on with the ogre thing. My guess is that it was either made right at the end of development, which led to these weird moments, or it was made really early in development and just not gone back to, so now it feels a bit weird compared to the others, which were made a bit later, I guess. Those would be my guesses, but, I mean, we can't do anything more than suppose. All right, moving back north a little bit here. That's Serenity Temple to the left. This is the Pockmark Roughs. Really, I want to get up onto this ledge here. I don't know whether we'll be able to, though. Oh, man, one day... Oh, there we go. We made it. One day, little jumps like that will become very easy as soon as we can start using mounts. But, hey, guys, we'll be wide-eyed about that for still a long time yet. Moving up, I guess we'll look towards the lumber. What does this story journal actually specifically say here? We went into the brand but didn't find the missing ogre chieftain Oldek. We did find the search party's only surviving member, an ogre named Kokora, which is actually not true. We found Jonker. But hey, she told us Oldek had become branded and was raising a massive branded horde to destroy the Crawl. We agreed to help the Crawl prepare for the coming onslaught. So they've even gender swapped that character there as well. It seems like it's gone through some weird iterative issues, does it not, guys? Yeah, well, here we go. Let's move on in. Luckily, we don't have to travel too far. Pets and wolves make stronger Crawls. Religion. Ogres are not spiritual in any fashion. They have no concept of gods or religious spirits. They do not worship anything or anyone. They do not have religious traditions, superstitions, or any other fantastic explanation about how the world works or how life was created. They simply do not care. Ogres care only for the here and now, the concrete reality of the moment, and have no spiritual belief system to address anything beyond that point. Alright, so, here we've got Najara and Forgul.
Your attention, please. John Kor sent us to help you tame pets for your Crawl defense.
I don't know how you fooled Jonkor, but this is no game. We need to break in the most dangerous beasts, or we don't stand a chance against Oldek.
Rock dogs are tough, but we can handle them. The hard part will be not killing them outright.
Are you listening? I said most dangerous. Normal rock dogs are just the warm-up. We're here for Sourfang, the pack alpha. He's killed 3 beastmasters so far. If you want to make a difference, help us tame him. First, we tame enough of his pack to draw him out. Then the real work begins. Pitch in or get out of my way.
Well, damn, lady. Again, another weird thing here. Why did she start by saying, I don't know how... Oh, God, there we go. So there is a dragon, and we can hear roaring. And I think this instance might be one of the bugged ones where you see it a lot. Why does she say, I don't know how you fooled Jonkor? What do you mean? Why would she assume we fooled Jonkor? We're legitimately here to help. How untrusting is that? Ogres and their pets reminds me of the relationship Norn have with the spirits of the wild, only less reverent and a bit more work-oriented. Oh, well, that's an interesting comparison for Forgel to make. We don't really know much about the spirits of the wild and the Norn, but hey, that seems to be the ogre way, pragmatic to a fault. I like the idea of a race that's defined by that as well. Unrelenting pragmatism. So, stranger, you ever tame a rock dog before? I warn you, it's not like teaching your puppy dog to sit up and beg for scraps. I'm new to this. Why don't you tell me how it's done? Proper taming could take months. The roaring from the brand is mental right now. Even years. But we don't have time for that. We have to break them like you break a bad-tempered horse and quickly overpower them. So I just hit them until they roll over? In this case, yes. Rock dogs can take a lot of punishment. So don't worry about killing them. Just hammer away until they accept that you're in charge and must be obeyed. Harsh, but I understand there's too much at stake to be gentle. Listen, I have been the master of the ogre runes for a long time now. I understand rock dogs. Believe me, we will be fine. All right, okay. So let's move on through and hope we don't have to get too close to the brand. Hello, Mr. Ogre Hunter. Are you watching? I mean, this has got to be a cool moment for people, right? I'm well aware of what that dragon looks like and seen him many times before now, but I mean, it is one of the coolest moments of Guild Wars, right? Okay, so the hunters are just overlooking the ledge here. What else have we got? Rock dogs. Well, tame rock dogs to lure out their alpha Sour Fang. Let's beat the hell out of them. Starting off with this one here. So we can't quite kill them. Obviously, the idea is not to kill them. So they will go green very close to death and become our allies. There you go. Look, my rock dog versus theirs. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. So there, by the way, we use Fear Me to move the rock dog away, and then we can use the Greatsword 3 to whirl through and try to get all the packets of damage from the Greatsword 3 on it at once. The thing is, if you go too far forward, Fear makes people run away from you. So if the Greatsword 3 moves you in front of the dog will turn around mid-run and flee in that direction and not take all the damage. There's a cool skill. It's a shame not many people really use it as warriors.
Hey, you!
Hey, you. Yeah, okay. I see. Hey, you, get over here. I guess she's just calling it out to the various dogs that we get. She's not actually speaking to us. What does it say about me that she's talking to a dog and I think that I'm the one that needs to respond? Brilliant. Okay, let's pull over here. It's quite peaceful and scary and weird. It's like the calm before the storm fighting on this hillside with minions of the brand, enormous dragons flying off just nearby. Go. That's another one. Are we good now?
An ogre's pet shows her true strength.
Oh, I'm sure it does. We got another one over here. Christ, there's loads of them, actually. Let's aggro them all and deal with them together. There we go. Good. Beautiful. So Najara says, this is it. Sour Fang's coming. I think she was too far away, so we couldn't quite hear her. Oh my god, she just got destroyed! Was that her or was that a generic hunter? It must have been a generic hunter, surely. Wow. And so here we go. This is Sour Fang, and there's been only one other occasion in all 60-odd episodes so far that we have fought a legendary creature, and that legendary creature was the Destroyer Queen. Well, here is another one. You can tell from the purple ring around his name. He has a full break bar and everything, so we can rampage to try and break it, throw a boulder, stomp on him, daze him. Down he goes. Woo! How's that for a beast to tame?
We're done here. Sour Fang and his entire pack should be enough to defend the crawl.
Should be. I thought the point was to make your crawl impregnable. Now you sneer like it was a waste of time. We tamed Sour Fang.
And yet my chief is still coming to kill us all. I appreciate your hard work. Isn't that enough? Or should I blow kisses and throw candy? I don't have time for your tiny feelings. Uldek was a hero to my people, and now he's lost. No branded creature has ever been unbranded. Putting Uldak down is grim work, but it has to be done. If you want gratitude and respect, help us end this.
Of course. That's why we're here. And we won't leave until we shatter Uldak and his entire branded horde.
It feels to me like they almost smashed together like 3 separate conversations there, but I do love that she is one of the very few creatures in Tyria that is intelligent and big enough to refer to Forgul, the mighty Norn, as having tiny feelings. Should you blow kisses and throw candy? I'd love to look at that. That's amazing.
Welcome.
Not bad, stranger. Not bad at all. You might just make a decent tamer someday. Until then, Builder Gorka needs help harvesting lumber to shore up the Kral's fortifications. I like the idea that we could have been a ranger here, and I'm particularly offended by that. I'd hate to be the branded that squares off against Sourfang. Now, offense is covered, onto defense. If we want those ogres on our side, we need to keep them alive. So here, you'll notice we leave this instance and then go into another. And so it's kind of like the devs may have made 2 separate instances and then decided, let's just have the players do it all together, which is exactly what I've been asking for with some of the other story arcs. In fact, the earlier Vigil arc that we just did. So I kind of like that they did it this way. It just seems a bit weird. Look at that, the Ascalonian ruins back there with the harpies in the sky nearby. All right, pets and walls make stronger crawls, part 2. Let's see what we can do for lumber. Government. Ogre society is decentralized and tribal. Each village, known as a kraal, is independent from the others. Conflict between multiple kraals is not uncommon. Although ogres tend to be individualistic, they still have leaders who are chosen on a meritocratic basis. The criteria for selection can include smartest, strongest, best beastmaster, or just the best leader. Ogres follow a strict command hierarchy, and the orders of a chieftain are always followed without question, even if that leader is untested or weak. Followed, that is, until the leader is replaced. Alright, hello everyone. So there's loggers here, quite a group actually.
Is this the supply detail? We're from the Vigil, and Jonkor said you need help gathering raw materials.
Jonkor was right, but it'll be tough. We need lumber, and the only grove close enough is full of harpies. We can fell trees with a single blow, but someone needs to keep those filthy birds off us. I hate those things.
We've got you covered. You cut down the trees, we'll cut down the harpies.
Good, and don't hold back. The world needs less harpies. Let's get started.
See, the harpies to me feel so close to being a lesser race that we could have gotten allegiance with. This won't be our first time I've cleared a stand of trees to build fortifications or thought of harpies to do it. No, Forgul, I was trying to talk to you, my friend. My dear friend, he won't speak now. You know, these guys, I really feel like harpies are super on the edge of being a great ally in the fight against the Elder Dragons. Maybe they have things to offer us. The harpies are a fallen race too, so the secrets they may keep are on the level of the Jotun to me. Though the Jotun were much more ancient and much more great and ridiculous in their societies and so on, as we'll learn as we go on. But yeah, it's weird to see that we treat the harpies as just carrion really, and just not carrion, sorry. We just treat them as pests, as rats to be cut down, and I wonder whether that's ever going to change for the people of Tyria. I'm not sure exactly. It's a weird thought as well that it's almost like one lesser race fighting another lesser race. Hey, here you go, Forgul. This won't be the first time, or I've had to fight with harpies to do it. It will be the first time we've felled the trees with fists instead of axes. All right, well, he's referring a little bit to something we'll learn about in a second. But yeah, it's interesting to think, say, we were helping the Skrit out, if the Skrit asked us to cull away a ton of angry Quaggan, you know? Or the Quaggan asked us to cull away a ton of angry Hylek. I suppose that's not too far-fetched, because each one has tribes that are vicious. Mind you, I don't really know about any mean Quaggan. We know that they go a bit nuts, but there's very few Quaggan that are out and out horrible to us. It's only if they ever become dragon corrupted we see that in them. So yeah, that's kind of a curious thought. All right, let's take these guys out. Oh my god, look at that in the sky over there. So this lake as well is another place that holds special importance to me as a part of Blaze Ridge Steps. I've already told you where the demo started. I've told you what the very first footage ever was, but one of the first pieces of footage after that I saw that really captured my heart was seeing a player as an elementalist right here on this lake. They said something's coming, apparently. Right here on this lake doing an event to win some energy potions. It's, you know, so it's a special place to me. They use the elite skill Tornado, which was like this mind-blowing thing back then. To see someone turn into a tornado of that size and skills of those kinds of visual effects in MMOs. Oh, the early 2010s. So exciting. All right, so yeah, we got some cheats. And we want to defend the ogres while they fell the trees, but we can also cut down the trees ourselves. It's funny that Forgel says, oh, I'm going to be using my fists to break these trees instead of axes, when literally we are here with an axe chopping down the trees. This is kind of a fun moment that the devs deal with here as well, in that we actually very rarely get to break things in the environment. You can, of course, run over to trees and log them with logging axes in your adventures, and that can give you resources and materials to craft higher and whatnot. But very rarely do you beat stuff up to break them down, and it feels really good, I gotta say. It feels good hitting the trees and having them knock over. It's kind of a special instance for me in that regard. Let's take these down, though, and yeah, we're just gonna clear this entire clearing while Kraukotorix minions keep flying overhead. Alright, I'll see you guys in a sec. Another one over there. Yeah, so there are multiple... The bug for these instances I alluded to before is that the respawn timer for how often those things are in the sky is way off. Like, way, way, way off, and it's respawning way too quickly. It does look pretty cinematic, but also very strange. It's been like that for years now, so it's not like, oh, WP, why didn't you just wait a few patches until it's resolved? I mean, it's genuinely, I think, maybe 3.5 years that these instances have been bugged like this. So, hey, if it appears like this in the LP, it's just one along a list of many other things that will unfortunately be so. All right. The trees aren't respawning, are they? Am I really just missing these? Gee.
Kill them all!
So we missed most of that dialogue there. We couldn't really hear it. He said, that's all we need. The harpies can have the rest. We're leaving. All right, and they just want us to run on back now. So as long as they're not all in ridiculous fights. And oh, that looks like a ridiculous fight to me. You guys okay? Here, I'm going to throw my greatsword. Nice. Beauty. Okay, good. Oh, no, they're actually carrying lumber as well. I guess we had to chop down an equivalent number of trees so that each NPC was holding it. And then we could move on. Cool, so that's lumber for defense fortifications. And that's a brand spanking new pack of lots of rock dogs.
There's the matriarch and her flock.
Oh, okay, so the matriarch of the harpies. Flavortext says summons new young harpies as well, so we definitely want to kill the big bad one first, wherever she is. Did she fly up into the sky and hide from us? Or am I just not looking correct? No, there she is, there she is. Summons more harpies and enhances allies. So we'll take her out.
Not bad. I'm surprised a young race like yours can act so cool in a crisis.
Nobody's called me young for quite some time, unless they're joking. But we're not done yet. We still intend to help you defend your crawl.
We'd be honored to have you join us. Oldek was a great leader, but now he's a great threat. Nobody likes the idea of putting him down, but it has to be done. We understand, and rest assured, we won't let you face Oldek alone. We'll meet you back at the crawl.
All right, so we can see where this is built into another large defense, right? So we get a choice of plenty of gear. When I go through this between videos, and we're going to get stronger even still. We've got some loggers. Anyone want to say anything? I love that line from Fogel there as well. Nobody's called me young in quite a long time. When was the last time someone called you young? I guess if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the Ogres. Beast for offense, lumber for defense. I think that just about covers Agrat Cole for the upcoming battle. Now we just need to fight it. A victory for the Ogres is a victory for the Vigil. Let's go. Okay. Oh no, here we go. Builder Gorkin, you little folk work harder than I expected, and with better results. Thank you. With all this timber, my people may just survive. What happens next? Well, we head back to the crawl and put this timber to good use, and we hurry. The Branded were massing for an attack before they took Oldek. He must have them champing at the bit by now. Champing at the bit? Isn't the phrase chomping at the bit? I've always said chomping. Is it actually champing? Well, so there you go. Let's get into the crawl and finish this up. Alright, so we're pretty much out of wiki lore, and as you can tell, the wiki page is mostly just rebuilding on what these instances give us. However, there is a bit of trivia here. In the original Guild Wars, the term ogre did appear, but it was a technical term for the creature type that encompassed various other species, Ettins, Yeti, and later Jotuns. The closest thing to an actual ogre seen in Eastern Ascalon was the Grawl, who are understood to be a completely different species. As such, it's thought that despite there being a type of species as a mechanical term in the original Guild Wars, none are actually seen. This long-lived species we're finding in Guild Wars 2, they're exclusive to Guild Wars 2. The Lost Chieftains return. Hello, everybody. So, John Core waiting for us?
Lagula's in charge now. She's waiting for you.
Of course you would be. As we heard at the start, quite cleverly, the devs did suggest that there would be a replacement for the leader, and immediately we see it. Here's Gorkin as well, out the front. I'm no braggart, but these fortifications are damn near perfect. The preparations are done. Now it's up to us and our new chieftain, Lagula, to bring Oldek and his branded beasties down. Don't forget me and my order. We're in this too. But they're good at fighting for themselves. Also, over here, we can see Najara, who helped us do the taming. Sourfang is even more formidable than I'd hoped. Between him, you, and our new chieftain, Lagula, we might just survive this. Look at him. He's so cool. It's such a shame we don't get to see too much more of him. He's awesome, man. Forgel, what do you think? Oldek and his horde should be here soon. We need these ogres to pitch in against the dragons. We've done all we can to help them prepare. Now, let's see if we're up to the challenge. I mean, recruiting these guys and getting Sourfang with them. I'm salivating at the thought. Okay, is that everyone we spoke to? We spoke to Jonker as well. He greeted us at the gates, right?
What do you want?
I don't know where you came from or why, but I'm glad you're here. You've already saved my life. Let's see if you can save the entire crew. We won't quit until Oldek is gone and you're all safe. Well, the brand's not going anywhere, and it's right there. It's also dark and spooky out here now. Jesus. Hello, Lagula. So the entrance to the crawl is now closed. Which makes sense. They're trying to protect it.
You're back. They say you were a big help. On behalf of the entire crawl, thank you.
You're welcome, but we were expecting to defend the crawl, and you're evacuating it.
Yes, things got worse.
Right, yeah, they're all
Weather
out.
Turned, and Uldek's herd of monsters gets bigger all the time. I made the call. Some of us will stay and fight. The rest will find safety. If things go badly here, they'll start a new crawl.
Count us with the fighters. Just tell us where we can do the most good.
Check with Gorkin. He's in charge of our defenses. And thanks again. I don't know why you're helping us, but I'm glad you're here.
Well, because we selfishly want an exchange.
Against ogres before,
We don't
but
have
never
much
with
time.
them. This will be glorious.
Keep moving. Get those supplies squared away and guard them until we catch up. Najara, I want Sourfang and the Rock Dogs ready, and make sure they know who to bite.
So one thing I love about the ogres compared to the other lesser races
All out if the fortifications fail, Gorkon. We'll be ready to step in to fill any gaps.
is that they're smart enough to evacuate straight away. They don't try and needlessly hold on. They just evacuate. And it's cool because we hear about them moving all the time, moving from Blaze Ridge to here. And, you know, they're no strangers to it, while there's resistance with the other crews. Thanks for all your help. Our preparations helped the Kroll rally around me as new chieftain. We may not survive, but we won't go down without a fight. And my order's with you every step of the way.
Let's talk.
And that's the same dialogue as before. All right, so we're good. The refugees have bailed. There's still a mower back there, a single mower. Oh, crimson mower. It's okay. Let's head out onto the field of battle and see if we can defend the people. They've got a hyena with them. Now, actually, I think, guys, this instance is very likely to bug, like a lot, especially if you talk to people before certain cutscenes trigger and stuff, which might be question mark what I did. So hold on, let me just cut and reset this. I think I might have bugged it.
We'll be ready to step in to fill any gaps.
All right, there we go. See how it's amazing. Look how much brighter it is now. The mist hasn't descended so far because we've just rejoined the instance. Yeah, now it's letting me speak to Gorkin. I think it bugs if you speak to him too quickly, which is a shame and kind of punishes us for doing that.
Do you hear that? Something's coming.
Uldek was a good chief. He deserves a clean death.
Oh, Oldek was a good chief. He deserves a clean death, as they said. Okay.
Change doesn't come easy to an old soldier. You didn't give up on me. I won't give up on you. We do this together.
What do you mean they didn't give up on you, Forgul? When did they not give up on you? Anyway, let's crack these guys. Oh my god, they're already going down. Rock Dog, we've already lost one of them. Oh, it's cool to fight alongside Sourfang and just blowing these things up. Here we go. So these little pads out here representing where the branded came from. They're actually lightning that strikes the ground. It's kind of an interesting effect that you don't see in much of the game. The truth as well is, guys, there's not too much branded after all of this story because the main campaign is not really about this Elder Dragon yet. So do enjoy this while it lasts as we're rapidly approaching the end of the branded stuff, despite the fact there's a huge amount of explorable content in the game for it. Okay, so we want to defend the gates now of Agret Call. Let's move back up. Oh my god, they're just rocketing in. What? They don't even need to actually march on us. They can just siege and launch these crystals in from far away and have their minions explode out of them. Brilliant. Okay, so one Minotaur. Another one here. Good. Swinging up and messing up the greatsword a little bit. Christ, they managed to create a fire here. Around this corner. There you are. This Minotaur set a fire, you bastard. This lumber we took ages getting. Had to fight a harpy queen for that. Or matriarch. Let's take this guy out. Big eviscerate. Lovely. Okay, and now we just generic have to defend the crawl. It seems that all chaos is broken loose. We don't have a specific place. Oh no, have they managed to get all the way inside? This is crazy. Let's move up. Wow, look at that. It's ruined in here. That's brilliant. Okay, sorry guys, we didn't do very good. So much for fortifications when they can... I like the idea that they load the crystals containing the enemies onto the back of siege devourers and just fling them over. Wow. Okay, yeah, it's not looking good in here at all anymore. Let's take that human out there.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm wondering. There's a Melandru Stalker. That never fails to make me think of the original game and pre-Searing. Take that guy out. We got some Minotaurs crashing the place here. Sourfang and crew are defending the door. Let's put it that way. Let's pretend they're defending the door instead of clearly just being lazy and not helping us right here. There we go. Ah, speaking of siege devourers. Oh, and speaking of Oldek. Oh, now Sourfang's going in. Here he is. Slay Oldek and his pet. So look, Oldek's pet was a siege devourer. As their leader, obviously to get a lot of respect among the Ogres, that's the idea, right? So we should have assumed he'd have something good. They even referenced the fact that his pets were still following him. As a siege devourer, funnily enough, it's actually a little bit weaker and easier to kill than the one in the previous instance. Maybe because there's two creatures here, like there's the boss and the pet together, so the devs wanted to make it a bit easier. But yeah, we can take that out, and then here's Oldek himself with powerful punches, it says.
Stop on my mark.
The dragons pay for this.
And we can save the day.
Well, we're alive, but the crawl is ruined. What a painful victory.
The dragon's corruption is strong. When it got hold of Oldek, it became even stronger.
It would have been much worse if you hadn't shown up. At least now, we have a chance to start over. I won't forget what you did for us. When you make your stand against the dragons, call me, and I will repay that debt.
Definitely. The Vigil is dedicated to stopping the dragons, but we'll need allies to make that happen. Until that day, good luck.
This must never happen again. If there's an army that can defeat the dragons, I'll join it.
Why do we bother to try? The old ways are gone. Maybe the world's not worth saving anymore.
See, so Forgor has a really crazy line there. Why do we bother to try? The old ways are gone. Maybe the world's not worth saving anymore. What old ways, Forgor? How old are you? What are you talking about there? But I guess he's dismayed and upset by just the chaos and the ruined nation that's around him here. But the ogres seem to take it so well compared to a lot of the other races. What does he say? A painful loss. This shows why we need the ogres to side with us, not the dragons. I've also gotten word that things are heating up in Lion's Arch. I'll meet you there. Whoa, things are heating up in Lion's Arch, guys. Lagula says, losing the entire crawl is a bad start for a chieftain. I appreciate all your help. I just hope that people understand how much worse it could have been. What's your pet? I want to know. It's surely not just this little hyena. What will you do next? We'll establish a new crawl and build a new home. After that, I'll make good on my promise to join your fight against the dragons so this never happens to anyone again. read that a bit off, but there you go. Glad to hear it. If we stand together, Tyria will survive. So, how and when exactly the ogres will help us out, we will have to wait and see. John Cole says, thanks for your help. The crawl's destroyed, but it can be rebuilt. We'll miss Aldec's skills and leadership, but Lagula will lead us to a new home. I agree. I think you're in good hands. Gorkin says, the crawl's ruined. I failed. We'd all be dead if not for you. I guess the order's right. If we want to defeat the dragons and their minions and survive, we all need to work together. Yeah, the builder probably feels quite bad because it was his job to do the fortifications and stuff, but they just bypassed them. No worries, dude. So, Sourfang here.
An ogre's pet shows her true strength.
Amazingly... Come on, Guild Wars, why? Speaking to us like an ogre, and hilariously, because this is procedurally done, when she speaks to us, look at its mouth.
Do you need something?
It's actually lip synced. Look, it's moving.
Do you have any pets?
Do you have any pets? Oh, Christ. I do, actually. I got this little devourer there, man. It's amazing. Oh, there's going to be some fanfic or something about Sourfang. That's brilliant. Okay. So, yes, things are heating up in Lion's Arch, apparently. Well, I didn't tell you guys, but we did actually get a mail from Ritlock. Tribune Ritlock Brimstone, who says, debriefing, Centurion. Because, of course, that is our rank. We are Centurion, Tyrix Ripjaw. I've received a report that you've done well with your order. I knew you would. Victory is engineered into your bones, your very blood. It's why we're all such good friends. We're very much alike. You may have heard that I've intercepted air advancing into the ghost-filled city of Ascalon. Zodja still fights for Snaf's legacy, while Kaith roams the Caledon forest, keeping her own counsel. As for Logan, the fools return to Kryta, to his queen. The legions have sent an ambassador to meet with Jenna and work toward the peace treaty. I wish them well, but I cannot pretend that any peace will last, so long as the dragons continue to rise. There is more to do if we are to save the world, and we have very little time to accomplish our tasks. You will hear from me again soon. So this is a little bit of a missive from Ritlock. As we know, the story is that once he's done in Ascalon, he's summoned to Twilight Arbor for a moment, and Bale's there anyway. Can't stand to look at Logan. And yeah, it's nice to actually hear him chip in, and more of the Destiny's Edge story is very fast approaching, just by the way. But yeah, I guess that's it really, except for Forgall saying, I've gotten word that things are heating up in Lion's Arch, and I'll meet you there. That's where we're headed next, and what the Vigil exactly interprets as things heating up. Well, let's see. The Dermond Priory had a scholar go missing. The Order of Whispers had an informant go missing, who both turned out to be to do with scouts of Zitans. What's going on with the Vigil then? Well, we will have to see. I, however, am going to go on one last detour because, like I said, that's really the main bit of the brand that we get for the core story now. So, how about we start the next episode showing off a couple of other very cool landmarks here, including what exactly has been going on with that dragon, or those dragons, I should say plural, because the brand creates multiple of them, those beasts in the sky. Join me at the start next time, guys, for a bit of a bonus adventure on that I cannot wait to do with you. Do not miss it. I will see you very shortly.
They've announced the body count from yesterday.
I heard. Another 8 warriors gone to glory.
It's a good day to die.